Hello, I'm Grant Wallstrom, contributing editor to Internal Auditor magazine's Fraud Department and Senior Manager of Fraud Forensics Investigations at ADT in Boca Raton, Florida. I'm pleased to introduce this episode of Fraud on the All Things Internal Audit podcast, which provides fictionalized accounts of fraud based on actual events. IIA members can read the full fraud article exclusively in the October 2021 issue of Internal Auditor magazine, including bonus material on lessons learned. Listen now to Sailing the Tradewinds to Fraud.
Part 1. The Perfect Question. Do you know why I'm here? Asked Robert Schul, the forensic audit manager at direct mail marketer Orion Advertising. Kathy Francis, Orion's regional sales manager, responded, "Yes, and I will return the checks." Her answer surprised Schul, as the purpose of the meeting was simply to discuss the claim of a questionable sales bonus. But sensing the opportunity to learn more, Schul's next question was, "How much are we talking about?" "About $500,000, Francis replied. Schul had just walked into a forensic auditor's dream scenario, getting a full confession to a significant fraud by asking the right question at the right time. As Schul worked to unravel the complex fraud, he would discover a scheme involving not just his coworker Francis, but also a successful local banker and several of Orion's multi-million-dollar national accounts. Part 2. The Scheme. Orion's primary product is a print magazine where local businesses advertise their services. Orion's pricing plan is simple. Ads for front-facing pages are priced at a premium, while back-facing pages are priced at approximately half the rate. Francis was a successful regional sales manager who routinely earned a six-figure income. But Orion's new commission structure, implemented in response to declining advertising revenues, threatened to significantly limit Francis's ability to earn the same income she'd become accustomed to. But Francis was aware that the same belt-tightening that had led to the change in commission structure had also led to cutbacks in the accounting department. She believed she could execute a simple fraud scheme to replace her lost income and rationalize that the money she would be taking was, in fact, owed to her for her hard work. Francis set up a shell company called Tradewinds, Inc., which would bill her new customers for the premium rate regardless of where their ads appeared in the magazine. Tradewinds would then pay Orion as if the customers received the back-of-page advertising. Francis knew she could cover any discrepancies by telling the billing department that the customer was billed at the incorrect rate. But Francis's scheme was less than foolproof. Some of her new customers sent their payments to Orion instead of Tradewinds. Because these payments were billed at the premium rate, the resulting overpayments would look suspicious. So, Francis instructed the billing department to adjust accounts for the overpayments or to transfer the overpayments from one customer account to another. As she suspected, no one in accounting took a serious interest in the overpayments or transfers. Francis's scheme went undetected for several months, and its proceeds more than replaced any lost income she sustained from the change in the commission plan. However, this was not enough. Francis knew the big payoff would be in national accounts payments. The problem she faced was how to deposit large checks from national accounts into her local bank without raising suspicion. Part 3. A Willing Accomplice Right Next Door. Robert Baggio was Francis's neighbor and a local bank manager who had just been offered a promotion to manage a branch out of state. She invited him to her house under the guise of celebrating his new job. She then took a big risk by telling the banker not just about her scheme, but also about her dilemma in scaling it to national accounts. She didn't need to worry. A cut of the proceeds was all it took. Baggio would turn out to be a valuable partner in crime. Baggio opened a bank account at his new branch under the name Original Retail in Online News, Orion. That way, checks made out to the real Orion could be deposited into the account with little scrutiny by bank auditors. Francis knew that national customers would question being billed by Tradewinds, but theorized that a change of billing address might go undetected. She created a change of billing address letter for her national account customers and instructed them to mail checks to a post office box. As suspected, many of her national account customers simply made the change of billing address in the accounts payable system, and checks began flowing in Francis's post office box. She then forwarded the checks to Baggio, who deposited them in the bank account under his control. Part 4. The Unraveling. Amanda Olson, a recent hire in Orion's accounting department, was tasked to look at a series of transfers of overpayments made by Francis among her customer accounts. Confused, she called Francis for an explanation. Francis rudely dismissed her and ordered her to make the transfers as instructed. Olson suspected something was awry and reported the encounter to her manager. This set the stage for Schul's meeting with Francis. Orion's Internal Audit department knew Francis was no stranger to questionable business practices. The previous year, she tried to earn a new customer bonus by misrepresenting an existing customer who started a new business. Francis was reprimanded, but her strong sales performance kept her from being fired. Schul, who had interviewed Francis the year before, knew she could be difficult and decided to interview her face to face. Francis's subsequent spontaneous confession began a company-wide investigation that not only shed light on her fraud, but also exposed a similar scheme her boss was conducting that netted him more than $1 million. Orion contacted local law enforcement. For their actions, Francis and Baggio were arrested, convicted, and sentenced to prison terms.
This has been Fraud, a fictionalized account based on actual events, brought to you by the Institute of Internal Auditors. IIA members can access the full story in the October 2021 issue of Internal Auditor magazine, including bonus material on lessons learned. To read more, visit internalauditor.theiia.org. For more fraud-related resources, including guidance and thought leadership from the IIA and the ACFE, visit theiia.org/ACFE fraud.